As all of you have committed a breach of faith, the Archbishop will now pass judgment.
Inciting a kingdom noble to rebel. Unlawful entry. The attempted assassination of the Archbishop. An attack on the Holy Mausoleum. It is unnecessary to go on, followers of the Western Church.
What? We have nothing to do with the Western Church.
You have already been identified. Please spare us your second-rate theater.
Dishonoring a holy ceremony is worthy of death for a member of the Church. You are well past the hope of redemption. If you have any grace remaining, you will willingly offer your life as atonement for this crime.
No! This isn't what we were told would happen! We've been deceived!
It's no use arguing. Whatever your excuse, the punishment stands.
May your souls find peace as they return to the goddess.
Wait! Please! The goddess would never forgive you for our execution!
Monster! We know you've already slaughtered many of our fellow brethren like this.
This concludes the investigation. Please remove these poor lost souls from my sight.
That's that, I suppose. The assassination attempt, the attack on the Holy Mausoleum. It was all the Western Church's doing. That masked knight who led the attack somehow managed to disappear without a trace.
The Church of Seros clearly isn't as unified as it would hope to appear. It seems the bishop of the Western Church was always opposed to the Church being ruled centrally from Garreg Mach. Perhaps they hoped to remove the Archbishop in order to completely strip the Central Church of its authority.
Central Church?
Ah, that's right. Geralt mentioned that you were raised without any exposure to the Church. In order to function more efficiently, the Church of Seros is split into several smaller entities. The Central Church is the largest, and leads the organization from Garreg Mach.
The Western Church extends from Castle Gaspar, where Lord Lenato rebelled, into the far west. They can be found just beyond the most renowned stronghold of the kingdom, the fortress city of Arianrode.
It seems the Knights have been tasked with subduing the leaders of the Western Church. We may be given the opportunity to help them with their mission.
To think, our own professor was born in Fodlan, and yet knew nothing of the Church. I never imagined explaining something so basic to an instructor of mine. You're something of a special case, are you not?
How strange that the Archbishop would ask someone like that to lead her students. There's clearly more to that decision than we know.
Lady Rhea is pretty scary sometimes. But to execute that whole group, just like that? It seems harsh, even for her.
If one of us does something bad, I wonder what she would do to us!
Professor, do you agree with the Archbishop's actions?
There you are, Professor. It seems Lady Rhea would like a word with you. Come with me.
The Archbishop lives. Not that I had ever placed much faith in those swine from the Western Church.
I have news, both good and bad. The remains of Seros were not in a tomb. However, something else was. The Sword of the Creator.
Ah, the weapon wielded by that thief, the King of Liberation.
Thief? Huh. At any rate, it is now in the hands of the Academy's new professor. I doubt you will be surprised to hear that the crest stone had already been removed from the sword when it was found.
As expected. It would be foolish to keep both in the same location.
There's more. The professor was able to awaken the sword's true power. Even without the crest stone, the sword glowed red. The professor's crest is compatible. There is no mistaking it.
Absurd. Using a relic without its crest stone should be impossible. The King of Liberation's bloodline should not even...
They must be allowed to keep it, for now. I do not have enough information about the professor to act. As for your request, I assent. The Death Knight is at your command. Use him well.
Good. I believe I will enjoy this a great deal.
I cannot thank you enough for defeating those invaders in the Holy Mausoleum, and especially for protecting the Sword of the Creator. That sword is one of the hero's relics, and the most precious artifact in the Church's possession. It is also a weapon of terrifying power. For now, I will entrust the sword to you. Please, use it wisely.
Lady Rhea, wait! Do you truly mean to give the Sword of the Creator to this stranger? Surely it is not the sort of thing one hands over so readily, even to someone who has the ability to wield it. If someone like Nemesis were to appear again, all of Vodland would be consumed by war.
Nemesis?
Nemesis, the King of Liberation. He is an ancient king of mankind who was defeated by Seiros over 1,000 years ago. When Vodland was attacked by wicked gods, it is said that the goddess gifted Nemesis with the Sword of the Creator. Nemesis used that sword to defeat the wicked gods, saving all of Vodland. Henceforth, he was dubbed the King of Liberation. However, his power began to corrupt him until he himself turned to the darkness. Saint Seiros was forced to destroy him. Lady Rhea, I beg you to reconsider. Given a little more time, we could more accurately assess this stranger's abilities.
No. I have faith, Seteth. Faith that our friend here will not be corrupted by wickedness. Since the death of Nemesis, none have been able to wield the Sword of the Creator. Now, after all those long years of being sealed away, it has returned and found a new master.
I understand. As you wish, Lady Rhea. There you have it, Professor. See that you do not betray the trust the Archbishop has seen fit to bestow upon you.
The Sword of the Creator? The King of Liberation? Each tale is more confusing than the last. And I really can't read that Rhea at all. That sword is clearly precious. So why is she so keen to gift the thing to you?
Certainly is strange.
I feel as though we have become entangled in a mystery. And there is one more thing that has been plaguing me. The Sword of the Creator. It somehow feels distinct from other relics we have seen. Such as the one that... Oh goodness, what was her name?
Catherine?
Yes, her! The Sword of the Creator is different from her Thunderbrand in one key way. It bears a hole, where something should have been, but is no more. I despise not knowing what is going on. It frightens me. And yet, I place my trust in you. I must. Whatever comes to pass, please swear to cut a path that is your own.
Part 1. White Clouds. Verdant Rain Moon. Tower of Black Winds. The ceaseless rains that satiate the verdant landscape of Vodland are accompanied by fierce winds and mighty roars of thunder. This abundance of rain, sparkling as it falls against beams of emerging sunlight, is a constant reminder to the people of Vodland that nature is ever wild and unpredictable. For when the rain finally does take pause, the clouds part and give way to a glorious rainbow.
There are new places to explore in the monastery. Hello everyone, I'm the Tuna Whale, and I'm here with another episode of Fire Emblem 3 Houses. We got 4,000 gold more than last time, because now we're even better of a professor, and we have an event.
I have a new mission for you, Professor. I would like for you to take your students into Kingdom territory to eliminate some thieves.
They stole a hero's relic from House Gautier of the Holy Kingdom of Fargus, the Lance of Ruin. Their leader's name is Miklan. He is apparently a disowned son of House Gautier.
Why was he disowned?
I believe it had something to do with his lack of a crest. Such happenings are fairly common within the kingdom.
The Crestless cannot unleash the goddess's power even if they possess a relic. Nonetheless, they are still capable of simply wielding those weapons.
The hero's relics are immensely powerful weapons. We must meet this threat with adequate force. Unfortunately, most of the Knights of Seiros are away from the monastery, purging the apostates of the Western Church. So we are entrusting you with this mission. After all, you wield the Sword of the Creator, which is more than capable of opposing any relic.
The Sword of the Creator is a powerful weapon well beyond the other relics. You have nothing to fear. However, to ensure that no harm comes to the students, we will also send the monastery's most skilled individuals to aid you.
I must remind you that you are expected to conduct yourself in a manner befitting the wielder of that holy sword. Also, you should know that Professor Hanneman has been looking for you. That is all.
Professor, I heard about our mission for this month. A thief with a hero's relic is worrisome, but with you at our side, I'm certain we can handle him. After all, you have the Sword of the Creator. It was allegedly wielded by Nemesis, the King of Liberation. If the legends are true, you hold the power to stand against entire armies. A band of thieves should be nothing. Even the most elite Imperial forces or the Knights of Seiros could not hope to defeat you.
It would never come to that.
Is that so? Even if those forces were to hurt someone precious to you? Can you say with full confidence that you would not turn your sword on them if that were to happen? You know, your power does not lie solely in the Sword of the Creator. You are stronger and more terrifying than you realize. Professor, when we leave the monastery, will you still think of yourself as my teacher?
What do you mean?
Never mind. I'm being thoughtless with my words. For now, let's just focus on the problem at hand.
Good of you to come, Professor. I've heard much about you lately. Specifically, that you are able to awaken the Sword of the Creator's power. Thusly, it seems the true nature of your crest has been uncovered. I had, of course, seen your crest before. However, at first, I failed to recognize its true nature. Eventually, it dawned on me that what is visible is perhaps merely a small part of a greater whole. In other words, your crest is too significant to be detected when using normal instruments. After this discovery, I began researching crests that might fit that description, which allowed for a temporary hypothesis. However, I could not be certain. The crest my conclusions led me to was far too unusual. A crest thought to have disappeared from this world in the millennium since the fall of Nemesis, the King of Liberation. The crest of flames. That is what you possess.
The crest of flames?
Your ability to wield the Sword of the Creator has unequivocally proven my hypothesis. A legendary power, dormant since time immemorial and now resurrected. There can be no doubt that this ancient power resides within you.
Here we have Manuela's birthday. You know what? Now's as good a time as ever. I'm gonna host a tea party here just to show it off for what it is. Basically, the way the tea parties work is that it'll raise a charisma stat if everything goes well. We are supposed to pick topics that interest our guests, and if they like, and if basically like the tea party, they'll stay a bit afterwards and we can give them gifts. For Manuela, I'm going to give her an Angelica tea.
Thank you for your invitation. To what do I owe this surprise? Thank you.
We'll offer her some tea.
Smells lovely.
The opera, because if you remember, Manuela is a singer. Next up, you can see in the top right there's a little timer going down. I'm gonna put exploring the monastery. And then finally, Fodlan's future. No, that didn't work. So if I gotten that last question, I would have gotten a little thing at the end where she would have like asked me something about myself, and I was supposed to answer that as well.
Thanks for the treat. Come by the infirmary anytime you need anything. I'll be waiting, Professor.
And then also, yeah, we would have gotten the chance to give her something. In addition, if we got everything perfect, we would have gotten 1 charisma on Manuela and on Byleth. Anyway, we're curious on how Edelgard is doing, so let's visit her.
Save.
Who could that be?
A ghost, perhaps? No, that is surely not the case. What is that look upon your face? I am no ghost, if that is what was on your mind.
No. Who's there? Professor, what are you doing here?
I heard something.
Oh? Perhaps I was talking in my sleep.
Bad dreams?
Ah, so you heard me then. Yes, it was a nightmare. I've had them since I was a child. Stupid, pointless dreams I can't control. It's terribly frustrating.
Anything I can help you with?
No, they're just worthless dreams of the past. Talking about it won't change a thing.
It's none of my business.
Perhaps not. Still, here you are. Maybe I can trust you with this, but only if you swear not to tell a soul. I appreciate it. I dream of my older brother, paralyzed, helpless. My older sister crying for help that never came. The youngest babbling words beyond meaning. I see my family dying slowly, waiting in the darkest depths for a glimmer of light. I once had 10 siblings, 8 older and 2 younger. Such a large family, and yet I became the heir to the throne. Do you know why? Every last one of them was crippled by disease, or lost their mind, or died. I was the only one left who could inherit the throne.
That's awful.
Things kept getting worse. The darkness kept getting darker. In the end, I was the only one who survived. The nightmares are a reminder to never forget, to never allow such terrible things to happen again.
Never again.
Even now, I'm the only one who can carry the weight of the Adrestian Empire. The future of the Empire, of everything, depends on me. I shared more than I intended to. I suppose there's something in the air tonight. I've never told anyone about my past before. Please, forget I said anything. Sleep well, my teacher.
Here we are, beginning of a new month. We'll start like every month and explore the monastery. Inside our room, we have Sothis. Let's start by talking to her.
A stone? A stone. I do not understand. Yet, as I think of it, the pounding in my chest grows faster still. But is that me? Or is it you?
We may never know. Anyway, if we look to the left, we can see that there is a quest there to do. There's also the Shifty Merchant, but I've talked to him in the past. He just says the same thing every month. If you're doing other things, he might be more interesting, but we'll get to those other things a long time in the future. Anyway, here is a quest to go to the south.
I could use a hand.
basically how this works is that we go here, and we become a really responsible professor, spending some time in the sauna alone with a student. Yup. Who do I want to do things with? So basically the way the sauna works is that if all things go well, Violet and the other student will have, Violet and the student will be able to get training more efficiently. For example, if Violet goes to, like, for example, Rhea to learn how to combat or how to brawl, because apparently she can teach that. You'll be more effective with that. But let's say, for example, I think I'm gonna spend this first time with Edelgard, considering that, yeah. But let's say I want to teach Edelgard how to use black magic more because I like poor ideas. It'll work more effectively. Here we have increased steam or stay longer. So if you see that we have a bar underneath us, as we spend time in here and take actions, the bar is going to increase. We basically want to end the bar. We basically want to end this with the bar all the way full, but not into the red zone. As the bar progresses, you'll be able to see that eventually they'll start glowing yellow. You basically want to end it at a point where both of them are glowing yellow. So you see Violet here is yellow. I'm gonna stay a bit longer because, come on. I'm gonna just stay a bit longer. Hopefully, there we go. Yep. Again, this is something that can be a bit like hard to. You might want to save scum this, but I'm not going to because I have a little bit of pride here. And
Thanks.
I trust me. I have a bit of pride. I do it all the time when I'm not doing when I'm not recording. I recommend you do that because every activity point is helpful. You can use it to, for example, go to the kitchens and raise your motivation or something else. You can also see that that was a way to raise the motivation because the kitchens is for 2 students and that's just for 1. Yeah, I recommend that you use the kitchens more often. But you should definitely do that with at least some of your students that you're trying to train because it makes training more effectively. Unfortunately, that's another DLC thing that but I'm going to be using it because it's not like it's amazingly broken. Anyway, here we have Dedu and Dimitri.
The Western Church. The Central Church. They believe in the same goddess, but oppose one another. Fodlan is a complicated place.
Indeed it is. Let's talk to Dimitri.
I am sorry that the kingdom's unrest did not stop with Lord Lonato. Professor, the hero's relics are incredibly powerful. Please, be on your guard.
But of course, I'll use that power to protect my students in the church. Anyway, here we have a house versus house lands tournament. I'm gonna believe in Ferdinand to do well on this. I think that you can see he's doing fine against Ingrid, but I don't think he'll make it all the way through and beat, probably gonna be at the end of this with Dimitri, because Dimitri is, he's just a terrifying unit to fight against. He has a bunch of strength, a bunch of speed, and yeah. Unlike Ingrid, who is a bit lacking on speed, yeah. Also, it's a bit unfair that Ferdinand can basically fight someone, and Ferdinand can use a horse, meanwhile the other person can't, but oh well. I'm gonna poke that. And Ferdinand's definitely gonna win this round here, because, yeah. You can see 12 versus 4, yeah. Round 3, let's go. We have Lorenz. Ferdinand's gonna be doubling him, so that's no problem. Poke him. He shouldn't get hit again, yeah. After this, I'm gonna use something that we can do here. So you can see Ferdinand's taking a big bite out of his health. God, I said it again. Oh well. Basically, though, yeah, he'll probably be fine to beat Leone. If you look in the middle, bottom of the screen, we have him restore 25 health. We can use it 2 times, considering that we're at the semi-finals next time for the finals. I'm just going to use it now because it heals our health, and we can only use it 2 times. We have 2 rounds ahead of us. We might as well just use it because otherwise we won't be able to. But then Fred is going to finish Leone here.
You should be honored.
And I feel like it's going to be Dimitri. Yep. Prince Dimitri himself. Oh. Wow, he's a lot slower than I thought he would be. Huh. I'm surprised that Ferdinand's going to double him. Granted, Dimitri is the fastest student, but I expected him to at least be faster than Sylvain.
You should be honored.
Anyway, here we go. For everything that we've done, we get a congratulations, and we get some sweet rewards. We get some money, and we get the intermediate field. We also get, because, and nothing says I'm a responsible professor than sending your students to fight each other. Anyway, here we have Yuritsa.
Mercedes. Her face looks familiar.
Interesting. Yeah, you can see here that, now with the arrow, Violet has the person sitting down with... I'm gonna stop that description. That basically means that he's gonna be more, he's gonna get more points. We can also see in the box on the right, specifically how much he would get from, I believe, a good. But anyway, I'm not going to use that because I've used a fair number of activity points so far. Anyway, let us go to the greenhouse to check on our plants. In addition, we'll go back up from here, back up to Violet's room, just to see if there are any students who are there. I know that Bernadette's going to be there because she's always in her room, but anyway. I'm also going to go poke my head to all the students' dorms because, you know, that's the only way you can be a great professor. Thanks, Professor Violet, for always poking your head in students' rooms. Anyway, here we have Manuela tending to the plants.
It's awful. Just awful what happened with the rite of rebirth. The infirmary. Well, it was a mess. Things are finally calm again, and so I've come here to unwind. Let me tell you, I put all of my knowledge to use keeping those kids alive. Still, the truth of it is that when someone faces death for the first time, well, they figure out who they are. They learn if they can do it again. We can't lose them, Professor. Not to battle or to cowardice. If you can keep them going, then I will too.
I will protect them. No matter what, we can't let our students fall in battle because, I mean, as much as I like to joke about how great of a Professor Violet is, by like literally, like he gets rewarded for basically not breaking in, but like the door's open for us, but still, like just for going into the rooms of each of the students. Anyway, I think I'm gonna talk to Bernadette, and then I'm going to make a cut of me going through all of the rooms of the students. In addition, I will put up something that'll basically tell you which rooms have something in them for helping boosting Violet, or which rooms I found something in to boost Violet's stats or professor rank. Anyway, let's talk to Bernadette before we cut.
I'm not secretly eating cake.
I can sense it.
Okay. What's Bernie doing right now? Oh, fine. You got me. But keep it a secret, alright?
Don't worry, we don't tell anyone. Anyway, I'm gonna be cutting in and putting something up to tell you which students have something in their room, because, you know, I'm gonna keep making that joke for like the entire outing, so sorry about that. But anyway, cutting now. Ooh. I guess I'm gonna have to show this now. We just got I don't know. Future is gonna again put up how it's pronounced because he loves doing that. We'll get into how we can use those, but basically, it's a way for. So in previous Fire Emblem games, there's something called pair up. That's basically what it is, except the unit can't attack as well. Well, usually they will, but you can't really count on it. Anyway, they can attack as well, and you will get things more than just them attacking. You'll get some things they'll heal up their friend they're paired up with, or something else. Anyway, we'll get more into that when we see it in battle. Alright, so, there's some more dormitories up here, but there are also more students. I'm just cutting up here. I'm going to be poking my heads into each one of these, but also because there are 3 students up here, I'm just going to talk to them while we pass them. There's Felix, so we'll talk to him here.
Impressive. Think of it. The Sword of the Creator, belonging to the ancient King Nemesis. You have to master it as soon as you can. I can't wait to face off against such a legendary weapon.
Don't worry, we will. Let's go into here. Nope, nothing. We can see that there's some students talking over there, but I don't think we can talk to them. And they're not like, students that we can recruit. They're just some random students at Garrick Mach. Let's continue going over here. I don't know if there's going to be terribly much into this, in this place, but perhaps there will be. Nope, nothing. Here we have Cyril.
Hey, I heard about the things you did. I figure you're a great person after all, Professor.
We're the best professor in this entire place. Anyway, you see, look at how... I'm gonna stop making that joke because it's awful. Anyway, let's talk to Claude. Maybe he can get our mind off of terrible jokes.
Hey, Teach, I hear you were able to use the Sword of the Creator. That means... What does that mean? Could it mean that you're a descendant of Nemesis, the King of Liberation?
I am Nemesis, the King of Liberation. Come back in mortal form to slay everyone. Yes. I'm that cruel. Indeed. Alright, anyway. Really? Is there nothing else in here? I thought there would be more because I forgot to explore like the students' rooms for the past 2 months. I guess there is. That's a bit weird. Anyway, let's go over to the cathedral and talk to the people who are sitting here. Here we are. We also have the counselor's box.
You guys have it bad in your own way. But believe me when I say, we've got it bad too. With all that happened last month, a great many knights were dispatched to the Western Church. And now we must set out for the Eastern Church, located in the far east of the Leicester Alliance. If I must die in Alliance territory, I wish it wasn't in the mountains in the middle of nowhere. I'd much rather go on a sightseeing trip to Deirdre. Oh, you don't know? Deirdre is House Regan's domain. It's called the Aquatic Capital.
Interesting, we'll have to remember that for later. Let's go to the advice box. I want to enjoy my hobbies, but there's not enough time when I have to wait for everyone to go to bed and clear out the common areas. Why don't you think of a hobby you can do together? I'm so sorry, that sounds like an impossible situation. Just do things during the day. We can see as Bernadetta. None of these answers are really great. I guess maybe sympathizing with her? I don't think that's the right answer. Oh, I guess it is. Look at that. Anyway, we also have some more advice. I'll try to hold back when swinging weapons, but sometimes I misjudge my own strength. I've broken so many weapons this way. Is there any way I can remedy this? Accidents happen. Just find a new one when it breaks. Take care to repair your weapons between sessions. Use the sturdiest weapons money can buy. Take care to repair weapons between training sessions. There we go. We helped Dimitri as well. Let's see here. We have Ash and Mercedes in here. I'm not going to talk to that knight who's just sitting in the corner, or the student who's just sitting in the corner there. You can find basically all the scripts for everything on like the internet, because the internet's great. Ironically enough, I don't have internet right now, but
Saint Seros's body was missing from her coffin, but they found a sword in its place. Do you think she moved from her coffin and left the sword behind?
So now we know the truth about the sword of the creator. We have the ghost of Seros past. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to anyone who's willing to like listen to my stupid jokes. I guess that's why I'm doing this.
So the whole plan to attack the monastery was some plot devised by the Western Church? That means they used Lenato. What right do they have to drag a good man like him into their schemes?
Indeed. Some people just do terrible things. Well, you see we have a Pegasus Knight flying around and basically performing security on the monastery. Nobody's over here. Let's see here. I'm going to go over to... Yeah, let's just go to the fishing pond and talk to the plane. Here we are. Pick up a fish. There are lots of fish. Ooh! Okay, so because of that, so if you remember how I've always been like, how during that one episode that I did a fair bit of fishing, I said that there are some other things that'll help you level up. If you use all your bait during a month where there's a lot of fish, it'll actually help you level up a lot. Off screen after the end of this episode, I'm going to be fishing a lot using all my bait here because, like, first off, it really funds you because fish can sell for a lot, and also it helps rank up your professor pretty quickly. Anyway, let's talk to Flame.
Why is that fish so still? Wait, is it swimming sideways? Perhaps it is resigned to its woeful fate of being plucked from the water and eaten. Ah, Professor, you are so outgoing with all of the students. I would like to have more opportunities to connect with you, though I'm certain my brother would disapprove.
That's fair. He seems like a bit of a hard ass.
Might you help me with a favor?
Pick up the objects scattered across the ground in front of the saint statues. The saints by these statues are known for performing miracles in the past. They may bless you for your hard work. I guess we can pop back to the monastery and do that. I've already showed off fishing, so I'm not going to show it off, but just assume that I've used all my bait to catch some fish, and I don't know, I won't show the haul because it's not terribly interesting. I also often forget to sell them, but you shouldn't sell all your fish. Look at the, well, again, pick up the shards here from each of the statues. They just have the same flavor text, except it's like Saint Makil, this one's Saint Keyhole, this one's Saint Sethlin. Yeah.
You have helped me so much.
But, yep, we can spend renown here. So remember, we've been getting renown this entire time. We can use it to help level up our things. Considering that the swords are pretty nice, I'm gonna bump up the sword rank. I'm also gonna bump up reason because I want to have my students be able to use offensive magic well. I guess I'll get writing, and then we get Divine Pulse +1, which is a very helpful skill, because oftentimes the game might be like, hey, surprise, you're just gonna get, like, smacked by someone you could never really predict it, except you could have totally. I think I'm gonna put some points to here to get the Faith.
This one? This one?
Basically to tell you what these things do, it helps you, increase, so when you're instructing, it increases your faith by 1. It doesn't seem that terribly helpful, and to be honest, it isn't amazingly helpful. Still, it's a bit nice.
You're all set.
This will help you increase your students' class XP. So because you'll want to master classes because it gives you special skills. Let's see here. What else could I do? Yeah, I guess. Well. Let me see how this experience one works. Okay, experience, this is a difficult decision. That's going to be 1700 minus 17, plus 1700, which is 3400. Wow, I'm 100 renown off. Fantastic. Alright. Which would I rather have? Axe and Authority? Yeah, I guess I'll put some points to Axe and Authority. Weird how, like, well, I guess if you look at his weapon, I guess that could be considered an axe in some people's eyes.
This one?
But yeah, I'm just gonna spend all my renown here just to bump up everything. Let's see here. Oh no, I guess I could, yeah, I guess I'm gonna put some points here just to get, a lot more experience whenever I'm doing things. Because experience is nice, it helps you become stronger.
You're all set.
And then I'm going to put some points here. And then I think I'm gonna save the rest of my points for, well, Sword Skill +2 is actually, might be really good. You know what, I'm gonna put some points to Sword Skill +2.
This one?
Because, yeah, Byleth uses a sword, and a lot of students are gonna be using swords, because swords are a pretty common item. And though, yeah, you don't have, like, a hand axe or javelin for a sword, and what I mean by that is that you won't be able to strike from 2 range. It's still very nice that, like, most units can use swords fairly effectively. There is a sword that has 1 to 2 range, but it's a bit complicated on how to use it. Not all students will want to use it. Well, granted, Byleth's fancy Sword of the Creator has 1 to 2 range, but, I recommend you can use it, like, if you need to use it, but don't be like, I mean, feel free to use it, but, like, don't just waste uses of it. Because you can, so unlike previous Fire Emblem games, you can repair things like the Sword of the Creator. It costs a resource that is relatively hard to come by. Anyway, we saw Ingrid talking to someone here, so let's talk to her.
Professor, please leave Sylvain alone for the time being. The thing is, the bandits' leader who stole the relic is Sylvain's disinherited older brother.
Oh. Well, I guess that'll explain some things. Again, it's very interesting how Fodlan, like, how having a crest means so much here. Let's pick up this sparkly on the ground. We get iron welding material, something for welding metal.
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. Oh, come to think of it, last month there was something to report, wasn't there? Thanks to you, I hear that everything was resolved. I never realized that bandits had entered. I'm not a great guard after all, am I? I hope you will forgive me one day.
Don't worry, we'll forgive you because, I mean, like, at least you'll correct your mistake afterwards. Here we have someone here who wants us to go and do some mission. I'm just gonna do that mission on my own time because, yeah, like, you guys don't want to just see me, you guys don't want to just see me do some random battles because there's, like, no plot behind it. The only thing that's different about that one is, like, perhaps some of the enemies, instead of being, for example, soldiers from somewhere, they're now bandits. But again, we've seen bandits before, we fought them, there's nothing terribly interesting. Anyway, here we have the second nothing. We have the blacksmiths. If we can find iron welding material, we can get that, and we've already found one. So this is something very interesting in Fire Emblem 3 Houses. You can now repair your weapons. So you can see here, well, I can't repair the Sword of the Creator because it's already perfectly fine, but anyway, let's say I wanted to repair Edelgard's iron sword. We can spend 2 smithing stones to basically repair it. For an iron sword, I don't recommend it because you can just buy one. You can see we have no shortage of money. But if you, for example, like, somehow find your hands on a steel lance, and you've been using it way too much because, I mean, steel lances are, or not steel lance, a silver lance, which is a step above steel, and you've been using it a lot because, I mean, it does a bunch of damage and it isn't terribly heavy, then yeah, like, you might want to repair it. but for example, like, for normal iron and steel weapons, shouldn't need to repair them because, yeah, it's not really worth the materials because you can use it for other things.
The coffin of Saros in the Holy Mausoleum should have held her remains. Instead, it held the sword of the Creator. What could it mean?
I just realized I should have talked about something else you can do with the blacksmithing. The main thing you are going to be wanting to do with blacksmithing, other than like repairing things like the sword of the Creator and other like rare weapons once we get our hands on those. You can forge weapons. Let's say, for example, Violet's training sword, I don't know, it broke too easily. Let me find a better example. I think the steel axe is a great example of this. I guess. You can see that not only does the uses go up, it also gets more might. So that's going to help you. I think the iron axe gets, yeah, you can see it gets 1 more might and 10 more hit, and then some more uses. In addition, forging something fully repairs it, but you can't forge a broken weapon. So like, let's say you have an iron axe with 1 use left. You might as well forge it into an iron plus axe if you just want to keep an iron axe on them, because having more accurate and more damaging weapon is very nice. Anyway, here we have Marianne.
Some people are unhappy because they don't have the crest they want. And some are unhappy because they have a crest they never asked for.
Indeed, this world's a bit strange. Let's talk to Tomas, maybe he has some words about this.
The head of the Western Church holds the title of Bishop. That's not as distinguished as an archbishop, such as Lady Rhea, but it still comes with a fair amount of authority. If someone in that position plotted an assassination, I cannot help but think it must have been instigated by some outside force. There are bishops in the Eastern Church as well, but to speak frankly, they do not have much impact. They are under the influence of both the Archbishop and the Leicester Alliance, so their ability to voice grievances is quite limited.
Interesting, we get to learn a bit more about how the Church of Saros does things. I'm gonna skip talking to that knight because, I mean, if I skip a few nights, that's fine. It saves me a few minutes.
You acquitted yourself honorably last month. To think they'd go into the Holy Mausoleum and assault the Goddess Tower. I cannot imagine the Western Church was acting on its own. Someone must have been helping them. As for the masked knight who escaped, his days are numbered. I hope we find him soon, so I can kill him myself.
Don't worry. Next time we see him, if we see him again, we'll stab him for you. Here we have a stranger we don't know who.
I am Rodrigue Achille Fraudarius. I bear the great honor of serving as a lord in the kingdom of Fargus. I have come in Margrave Gautier's stead to retrieve their stolen relic. However, as I hear it, a group of students is to attend to this matter. I sincerely hope no harm comes to any of them.
Don't worry, I'll personally make sure that nobody gets harmed there. Let's talk to Sylvain concerning how personal this mission is to him.
I can't believe my own brother is the leader of the bandits. House Gautier is my true home. And his. Please, Professor. He really is one of the worst people I've ever known. But we share the same blood. We're still family.
It's really sad to see this, just how many times we've seen someone who just did something without knowing about how much it affected people who are near him. Let's go into the reception hall and talk to Petra. Maybe she can get our mind off of that.
This has been my first time to the Kingdom's North. I hear the people of North are cold and have much loneliness. Professor, I hear you have worked as a mercenary in the Kingdom. Did you find joy in this? You cannot remember? Is that having possibility? I have amazement.
It's sad that Violet is somewhat of a silent protagonist. Again, it's a bit dumb how, like, he says something, but you could just give him the option, like, yes I have, or no I haven't, and like, yeah, but I guess that wouldn't really make terrible much sense. Anyway, here's Caspar.
I heard a relic was stolen. If this had something to do with a family conflict, I don't think I could choose a side.
We can't allow a hero's relic to be stolen.
What if it's some kind of powerful weapon? I want one too. I know relics aren't easy to come by, but I'd still like to get my hands on one.
Indeed, it would be very nice for everyone to have a relic. We can see that there's a lot of students to our left, and there's a sparkly here on the floor. We get an exotic feather for someone who belonged to Bridget. I guess because Petra's right there, we're gonna give it to her.
This is the Professor.
Here you go. We have not we have a lost item. We have a lot of oh my god, I need to get these things given to the right people. quickly now, though, we have an exotic feather with your name on it.
I have...
I guess off screen I'm going to be giving these to the right people. If basically if the relic, or not the relic, obviously not relic, if the lost item belongs to someone outside of their house, I'm just gonna give it to them now. But if it belongs to someone within our house, I'll give it to them. I'll give the item to them. God, what am I trying to say here? If it belongs to someone outside the house, I'll just give it to them because I can't recruit them anyway. But if it belongs to someone inside our house, I'll check to see if their motivation can like take it without it being wasted. Because the main thing I like to do with lost items is just use it to like as a free gift to bump up the motivation of students.
You have a crest too, eh, Professor? Does that mean you're descended from nobility? You've certainly got the look for it. I sure do wish there were more nobles like you, Professor. A teacher, a mercenary, and so very mysterious. How could a girl ever get enough?
Not yet, plus item. I think I have something for Dorothea too. No, this is, obviously this belongs to I'll try to basically tell you quickly who this belongs to. I think this one's for Felix, this is for Bernadetta, Sylvain, Lorenz, let's see here. I think this is Hubert's. That one's for Caspar, so I'll give that to him in a minute. I think this one's also for Felix. The Thunderbrand replica, no, I think these have Thunderbrand replicas for Felix, maybe for Catherine. This is for Annette, this is for Ignatz, this is for, I think it's either Ferdinand or Lorenz. This one's for Marianne, this one is for Marianne as well. This one's for Hilda, but you know, I'll show this off now. So I have the item for Hilda, so let's go over to Hilda, and I guess I'll give that item to Annette in a minute, but here you go, Hilda.
School life would be peaceful and quiet with us, but since you arrived, it's been one thing after another. Is that just a coincidence, I wonder?
Maybe, maybe not.
What do you mean? I don't like the way you said that. Stop trying to spook me.
I'm a scary ghost, but yeah, you can see there's no option afterwards to give her something.
Aristocrats are fools, allowing their lives to be dictated by their crests. Though, I suppose I am much the same in that regard.
Interesting. So yeah, you can see with like Cynthia, we can just give her a lost item. I don't know if we have one from her. This one is for Catherine, Aloise. I think this is Hanneman, maybe Linhart, but I think Hanneman. But yeah, we can't give her the use for perfume bottle. If you're leading, so also this has been something with the Dew. We can't give the Dew items, and we can't give Hilda items because we can't recruit them. It's a bit dumb, but you might for the used perfume bottle, I should just hold on to it until a point later on. But I don't think we can find items that belong to the Dew while we're leading the Black Eagles. This is also stands true for the Golden Deer. In the Golden Deer, you can't recruit Hubert or the Dew, and if you're leading the Blue Lions, you can actually recruit Hilda, but you can't recruit Hubert because Hubert is very loyal to Lady Edelgard, as we've seen. Anyway, we have Raphael over here.
Hey, Professor. Don't you think everyone's making too big a fuss over these crests or heroes relics or whatever they're called? How important can that stuff really be?
I'm not sure.
Personally, I don't even care that I don't have a crest. I'll take muscles over crests any day. Heck, I'll take muscles over a hot meal. Actually...
You just need to get someone else's perspective on it. And then we have Annette. I'll give her the Sorcerer book.
Professor, if you're heading to the kingdom, I would recommend taking a coat. It's chilly, even at this time of year. It also rains a fair bit. Don't get caught out there without protection, or you're sure to catch a cold.
Let's give it a lost item. It's interesting, like, at least we have the students from the Blue Lines who are from Fargus itself, so we're going there, so they can help us.
Oh, that.
There we go. We can also get some support points with her. We've had quests from Setup that we haven't done, but we'll do that when we go up to meet Rhea. Hopefully it's not a terribly long quest. But in here we have Linhart.
Swinging a sword about in the Holy Mausoleum? The potential for damage is too great to imagine. I sincerely hope the saints' coffins were not damaged.
They didn't.
Were you using magic? I've heard you weren't, but... Ugh, it's torture not being able to go inside the Holy Mausoleum for an entire year.
Yeah, it's that whole thing that someone tells you like, hey, you can't do this, and then it just makes you want to do it more. I'm gonna go up and do the thing for Sedith up here, because he has a quest for us, and hopefully we can do it quickly. I can see that he don't like. So, the program I used to edit this thing. I've never really gone above 1 hour with this, and right now I can see that my recording is 50 minutes.
Professor, Gerald was looking for you.
Oh.
It seems he has gone off. If he is
Great.
not in.
Okay, it's this quest. It's one of those quests. Oh,
I have
do
something
this
to
quest.
ask of
Trust me, you want to do this quest.
I have something to
We also
ask of
have another quest to basically train with some people, but you want to do that quest. Just trust me, you want to do it.
You must be rather bewildered by the power that was hidden within. However, know that I believe in you. I have no doubt that you will use that power justly. You will most certainly fulfill the grand destiny that the goddess has seen fit to grant you.
Thanks for the epicness. Anyway, we have another quest. We
May
have
I
herbal
ask a
remedies,
favor of you?
and
May I
we
ask a favor of you?
have esteemed company. We can invite Rhea for tea. Oh God, I didn't really want to do that now. I guess I might as well now. We have some tea of the
I'm
saints,
pleased to have...
and let's give it to her. A word of advice.
I see. Yes.
Monastery security, considering what happened last month. And then finally, the ideal professor. No? Oh goddamn it. Oh well. Yeah. I forgot that if you took that quest, you had to go through tea time, but oh well, it's fine. Anyway, we have to hurry, quickly now. I can see I only have like 5 minutes left-ish of recording. If I remember what we have to do with this quest, we have to go down to Leone, and then we have to go over to Catherine, and then we have to go back to Sedith, and then we can go to find where Gerald is.
Oh, Professor, are you looking for Captain Gerald? I just saw him in the Knight's Hall a little while ago. He was talking with a female knight, but I didn't get a good look at who she was.
Interesting. Let us go over... You know what? Let's talk to Hanneman quickly.
Oh my! The crest of flames? Could it really? Yes, the actual crest of flames! Ha ha ha! No, that is quite enough. I should compose myself. I must remain objective in my research. Objective, professional.
Excitement is understandable.
The scandal with the Western Church troubles me. We cannot afford to let ourselves be swept along, and yet...
Anyway, we can see now if we use the crest analyzer, we have the crest of flames, not just the crest of squiggles anymore. We have evolved. And then down here we have Ignatz.
Don't you think Professor Hanneman's been acting a bit strange? Maybe he's made some kind of big discovery.
Thanks for keeping it short and sweet. Yep, let's go down to Catherine.
Oh, Gerald? He said something about visiting a grave. There's a graveyard attached to the monastery, so you'll probably find him there. I can't remember where the graveyard is, but I bet Sedith knows.
I know where it is. I don't feel like going to that Sedith. The graveyard is just over here. If you talk to Sedith, he's just like, the graveyard. Yes, it's over here. Let me mark it on your map. Because we don't have time, we have to run over here and talk to Gerald, who's over here by this grave.
Hey, I wanted to ask you to join me, but I couldn't find you. So, here I am. I was thinking we should visit your mother. She's resting beneath this humble grave.
Why is your grave here?
Oh, of course you would ask that. I wouldn't know where to begin. I suppose I haven't talked much about her. She was gentle and smart. Oh, so smart. A wonderful cook. Always kind to everyone. And she loved flowers. Whenever I brought her back an unusual flower, her face would light up. I cherish those memories. I can't count how many times she made me happy just by smiling. And she smiled the most when she was pregnant with you. She died right after you were born. She wasn't able to spend much time with you, but she loved you with all her heart. That's the truest thing I know. Never forget it. This ring is the only keepsake I have of her. In time, it will be yours. One day, I hope you'll give this ring to someone you love as well as I love her.
Oh, I forgot. that it was such a touching scene. You know what?
Well done. You have my thanks.
We finished the quest for Sedith. I think that's a good enough spot to end here. We'll begin the next episode with me giving those items that Rhea wanted me to give to the students. But next time we'll be doing that, and we're also gonna be, you know what? We're gonna be doing a battle because we're gonna try out Mage Anilgard because I'm a glutton for punishment. Anyway, see you guys then.